to Life of the Troxels. So today I have my sweatshirt on for the first time in a long time, and I can hear the wind howling outside, and even though it's like 68 degrees, it is fall in Southern California. We don't really get a fall time, but it can get a little bit chilly and a little bit kind of gets us into that fall spirit. And I've really wanted to kind of embrace that like magic of the seasons changing and just kind of moving into the next season of our life here as a family. So October is a really fun time for our family. It's my husband and I's wedding anniversary this month. We want to do some apple picking as a family, maybe bake something with the apples that we pick, and I want to do a little bit of decorating as well. And we're getting a call for a fall storm, some rain and some thunderstorms tonight, and so I'm looking forward to kind of a little fall video. I want to do kind of a no-buy fall decorating, so just doing whatever decorating I could do with the stuff that we already have. I know that there's a few things that are kind of missing from my decorating stash that I have, and I think I'm like, oh man, I really wish that I had this or this or this, or you know, a new candle or a new vase or whatever it may be. But this isn't the type of season for us to be going out and buying a bunch of new stuff, because we have a ton that we can maybe look at in a new way. I have a craft that I want to do with the kids, like a little art project basically that I need their help with. And for our anniversary, I really wanted to bake something with the apples that we're picking for, you know, going apple picking. And Eric is gluten-free. I saw someone make apple muffins, like apple strussel muffins, and I'm like, I bet there's like recipes for it, you know, on Pinterest or whatever. So I was just going through my iPad trying to find the apple streusel gluten-free recipes on here, and gosh, Pinterest just doesn't hit the same way anymore. They have a ton of options, but they're all kind of weird, like weird ingredients, whether it's gluten-free or not. I don't know, they're trying to like be super fancy with it, and I'm just like, nothing's really calling me home. I looked through these two cookbooks that I have. I've mentioned this one before, 100 Cookies, and I've actually made the snickerdoodle pumpkin cookies that are in here, and I was like, I need to make those snickerdoodle cookies with pumpkin buttercream. These are so good, and I was thinking of making those with pumpkin, but they're a little bit more involved again, and they don't use any apples, and I'm like, I want to use the apples that we picked. So I went through here, and then this is by the same author. It's just 100 morning treats instead, and this one again is like, okay, you can make like apple crullers. And I was like, girl, I'm not standing in front of a stove deep frying some crullers today. So I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to make anything for our anniversary. But then I realized we have this. When I did my pantry clean out, I realized we had a ton of these King Arthur baking mixes. And this is just a muffin mix. And it literally says that it's perfect for your favorite add-ins. So I'm like, that's it. I'm just gonna chop up a bunch of apples, add it into this. This doesn't have any weird yogurts or like buttermilks or like gums or almond flour, blah, 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 blah. So it's literally just butter, eggs, milk, and then 1.5 cups of add-ins. It's just gonna be a really fun way to kind of get into that fall spirit. So I'm really glad that you're here. I hope you enjoy this video. I've been working really hard on getting videos out and sharing all my ideas that I have. I have so many ideas in my brain, and you know, as a mom of 4 with 6 and under, I definitely don't always have time to do all of those ideas that I have in my brain. I also work a full-time job and take care of the home and everything like that, and so when I get to do videos like this, it's a lot of fun for me. I really enjoy sharing it. I'm really glad that you're here, and I hope you subscribe and follow along for more Life of the Troxels. So as I'm starting to clear off the mantle to redecorate, Summer was so kind and helped me organize all the books back to where they're supposed to go, which is absolutely adorable. And I first wanted to say, is it really fall if you're not watching football while you're decorating for fall? But this is what my mantle looks like most of the time. We have some fake flowers and some family photos and some toys and books on the mantle because, my kids live here. We're not super fancy people. So I started by putting on our Mr. and Mrs. pumpkin that we have, which fits perfectly when you have an anniversary in October. And I just got out all my fall decor and started putting it together. I ended up buying this little pink ghost when I was doing some back to school shopping. So that, along with the pillows on the couch, are new this year. But everything else I just pulled out and tried to make work in this little spot just to make it as festive as possible. I'm the type of girl that's a low effort, high impact kind of girl. So just spending maybe about 45 minutes decorating this mantle while we all hang out and watch some football, and go Chargers, by the way. I feel like it makes such a big difference to the house and just feels so festive. And like I said, this is the only part of the house other than the outside that has really been decorated. And so, when it's time to take everything down, it's going to be super easy to just take it down, put it in the bin, and put it away to make room for Christmas time. So I don't have to spend a lot of money or a lot of time or a lot of effort to make an impression on my house and celebrate fall and involve my kids and just make the season magical. And I will admit, when it's all complete, I don't love it, but I think it's really nice and it kind of gets you in the mood, and the lights are really fun at nighttime. And so, it's fine, but it's wonderful that it was completely free with things that I already have, and that was kind of a fun little challenge to do. Something that I include in a lot of my videos is our book collection that we have, and I have a lot of books that are themed to whatever time of the year it is. So I'm showing off obviously our Halloween collection. I also have a bunch of Valentine's Day and Christmas and Easter collections and back to school books, and I kind of rotate through whatever the theme is based on the time of year. Kind of like a form of toy rotation, but a book rotation. And that way we can celebrate the season, but also get new books to try and read, take a break from our tried and true and maybe find some new favorites. And I literally keep the books in with the holiday decor. And so when I pull out my bin of decor, I pull out the books at the same time. And that way I always have them when I need them. And it's just another form of decorating and a way that I can just update my house for the season. Now, I had included that clip of Summer helping with the books, and then I wanted to show how Maddie was adding this little fake spider to the mantle. She even handmade a spider web and taped it up there to add to the decor, and just how special is that she felt inspired and wanted to help decorate for Halloween as well. Now that the house is decorated, let's go apple picking. Now, if you live in the Los Angeles area, the only place to go pick apples is gotta be Oak Glen. And we went to Snowline for the apple cider donuts and then Los Rios Rancho to actually pick apples. And it's so funny, in Southern California, we're like, it's fall, it's October, and it's also 95 degrees outside. But it still makes it fun because, again, it's just about the new season that we're coming into, and all the different colors and activities that you do in the fall. So we took our family here and got a bunch of apples. They had 3 different kinds: red, Rome, Granny Smith, and something called Spartan, which are really tiny purple apples.
This tree right here, I felt like had some good ones in it. Yeah. Up a high.
Go in the jungle.
Can't see you in there. Look at us.
That one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It was really cool getting to try different types and teaching the kids how they grow on the trees. It's quite an adventure with 4 kids, including a baby, and going out in the hot sun, but these are the types of memories that I think are worth it. I always make sure to make room for some of the fun. And again, this is a low effort, high impact activity where you don't have to spend a lot of money. You just drive out to an apple farm, get some apples, and, you know, make those family memories. It's definitely worth it.
I'm drinking apple juice and I'm eating apple.
Yeah. And now that we've had some fun outside, let's go back home and read some books. So Brooklyn was really into this Halloween look and find book. These are really popular in our house right now, but I had some other books that I've been reading. I really hope this is in focus. But anyway, so I found these 2 books at the library that I have been reading, and they've kind of inspired me to get back into reading a little bit more, and they've been kind of like cozy reading to get into the fall spirit. And one of them I'm sure you've heard of before. It is the tiny little series of A Court of Thorns and Roses, or ACOTAR as everyone likes to say, and I have been avoiding this. I'm like, it's like a fantasy book about like fairies, and I'm like, what the heck even are those things? And they're like, oh, it's like a love story. So I'm thinking it's like, and it's technically young adult, and so I'm thinking it's like Twilight maybe. And it's 100% Twilight with fairies instead of vampires, but it's entertaining, it's exciting. I can definitely see why people like it, and it's the start of a new series, and so I'm gonna continue to read the series and kind of see what this world plays into. So this one I just finished, and so the other one that I got at the library at the same time is The Guest List by Lucy Foley, and I just started this one. I'm on page 36, and this one is giving me the same kind of vibes as Knives Out, which is that like movie, I think it was on Netflix, where there's like a mystery and they kind of jump from points of view from all the different guests that are at this home about to like solve the mystery. It was thrilling without being like scary or gory, and that seems to be what this is going to, it kind of reminds me of. Obviously I'm just getting started, but there's like multiple point of view, and so every time they like switch points of view, you kind of learn a little bit more about what's going on, and so we're learning as, you know, the characters are learning. And there's obviously starts off with some big mysterious crime that happens on this remote island. It's definitely that kind of like spooky, thrillery vibes, and this is going to be really good for that kind of October feeling. So I wanted to share both of those since we're kind of getting into fall, and the types of books that I'm reading are like changing. Having a 6-month-old, or almost a 6-month-old, we put him into bed in our room here, and so the lights are always out, and by the time we're climbing into bed, it's dark in this room and I can't be turning on the lights and, you know, reading, and I want to be like cuddled up in my bed and all cozy. So I ended up buying this which is a book light. how do I turn it on? Here you go. A book light. And you just put it around your neck, and it shines on the book in front of you, as opposed to like clipping onto the top of the book. And I have one of those too, but it makes the book heavy and kind of like lopsided, and so like the book light can kind of like tilt, or makes your book tilt if you're reading it like at a different angle in bed, and you have to like keep readjusting it so as you're turning the pages. And so I'm like, I like this because I can just put it around my neck and point it exactly where I need it to be. It can point at both sides. A book light is like shiny, it's like brighter on one side than the other, a clip-on one. So I'm like, this has come in handy as my newest little nighttime reading accessory. And I've heard that those are really good things for like reading on like airplanes, or you know, even if you're like maybe a jewelry maker, or you have like something you do with your hands and you need like a task light, you can wear that and use that as a task light. So I'm like, that's like one of my new purchases that have like really come in handy. So just a couple more things to get me into that fall spirit. So we're gonna make these kind of crescent rolls here. They look like a little bit of pumpkin. So we've got the crescent rolls, some cheese, and then the twine.
Ready? Twine.
Oh, and then we need a pretzel. Do you want to go get the pretzels for us?
Yes. They're like little tiny pumpkins, but you make them with like this, and then string, and then cheese, and then pretzels.
So I kept saying I was making pumpkin crescents, which confused everyone because there's no actual pumpkin flavoring. They're cheese stuffed, pumpkin shaped Pillsbury crescent rolls. And I did a few things wrong, but they did turn out really cute and really tasty. Okay, so what we're gonna do, Maddie, is you're gonna put a piece of the cheese in it. Yep. We're gonna do roll it up. So we're gonna wrap it.
Okay, I'm gonna do this side.
Okay. Okay, and then we'll do like that. And like that. No. Wrap it around that way. And then that way.
We can't eat the string.
No, we'll take the string off. So a few things to note. Sorry the camera's like blurry. You have like greasy fingers from dealing with the crescent dough. But my first thing is I wish that I had longer string. As you can see, the string is just like barely being tied. And if I had just done the string way longer, it would have been easier to handle. Although it did end up turning out cute once I was able to tie them. They cooked up just fine. Also, I used about 1/3 of a cheese stick in each crescent, and I kind of thought that was too much. I think next time we do like 1/4 in each of them, or even just make the crescents with no cheese and eat it with just the dough.
This is right. And now what do I do? How do I tie it again?
Tie it around the other direction. And then I could do it, the ends are really short, so I can do. This was a fun little baking activity to do with Maddie, and the pumpkins didn't turn out perfect, but you know, pumpkins in real life aren't perfect either, but they were definitely pumpkin shaped, and putting the pretzel in it made him so cute, so festive, and just like a fun way to kind of mix things up. Again, low effort, high impact, because you're making crescent rolls anyway. Might as well just tie a little bit of string around it, and all of a sudden it's like a feature of the meal. I wanted to just quickly show you the little like art project, craft project that I did this weekend. And if you're a mom, you understand, but it's footprint art. And it turned out so cute. I saw someone doing it and I was like, I have to do it with my own. So I started off wanting to do it with just my baby, my 6-month-old Hunter, and I did like little bat on here. So we did his footprints and then I like drew the bat around it. We also did it with like my daughter. This is Brooklyn. So she had the red footprint and then I did the apple. Red footprints is like a little suspicious. We did Maddie. Hers is obviously a lot bigger because she's 6. And then this one is Summer. So I just did her footprint and then I did like the art lines around it and did the little like stem and leaf. Are you ready for the cutest one? Corn. Are you kidding me? So this one is Hunter's, so obviously a lot smaller, and I did yellow and it didn't quite turn out. Like the toes are like a little bit, it's like too slippery for him. I turned it into corn. How adorable is that? And so I have a bunch. I even have a bunch here that I didn't even like turn into anything yet. And I'm like, I can like keep going. I don't know. That was a fun little family project and little memories. So how many times do you think I can say fall spirit in this video? But I'm finally getting around to another little baking project, which is this muffin mix that I talked about. What's kind of funny about this is that I cut up 3 apples and didn't even end up using all of it in the mix. And so I'm like, I have 25 apples. What do I do with all of these apples? So I need to come up with another recipe to bake as well. I might do like some applesauce or something like that just to use up a lot of apples all at once, especially since Hunter, he's almost 6 months old and is going to be starting solid soon. I'm like, how about some homemade applesauce for your first, real food? So this was another little project. I love baking and trying different recipes and things. So even though this was like a little bit of a fail since it wasn't quite accomplishing my goal of using up all my apples, they were still delicious with the little streusel topping on top and using the little Halloween little wrapper things. If you call baking a love language, it would be mine. I love how it just combines, like acts of service and gift giving, just showing time and effort and thoughtfulness for people that you're baking for, and also letting me be creative with the recipes I'm using and really be able to focus on all the ingredients and the prep and making some beautiful food. This was quite a treat for the whole family, and again, low effort, high impact, making a little streusel to go on top of a boxed muffin mix, and all of a sudden this is homemade meal. Another delicious addition to introduce us to fall. Thanks for watching.